Potassium chloride. What we're doing on this transformation right now, you guys seen any of the transformations we've done or the contest preps we've done with Tony, where we have a few days to do a show and we do something called a potassium load, and then we hit them with diuretics and then we soda load them. This was, most people that have heard about this is from Amin. Amin was the one who really got this out in the open, Amin Alai. And so I have to give credit where credit's due on that part. And so the concept behind it is taking potassium. And when you're doing potassium, the form you want is chloride. But the problem with it in the States, and the reason why a lot of places regulate it, is because too much of it, you can actually have adverse heart reactions. Taking a hydrochlorothiazide or a diazide pill raises its potassium sparing, raises potassium, and then you take something like potassium chloride, and then you throw your heart off. You can have a stroke. There's so many things that could happen, so you have to really be careful. So I'm not going to recommend or say in this video doses and how exactly to do it, but the reason we're doing it is because when you want to drop water and you're going to take a diuretic, the number one thing that happens when you take a diuretic is you flatten out. And everybody thinks it's just the potassium. Well, the sodium is the biggest key and fullness in the muscle, that carbohydrates and water. So when people start taking these diuretics, what happens? You deplete minerals. And one of the primary minerals, potassium is one, and sodium is another one. You have magnesium, you have calcium, other things. But we're going to talk about coming on stage and being full. So what you do is you load potassium, and in the form of potassium chloride. There's other forms you can load as well. This is the best. There's new salt. Amin loves new salt, and that's the way you can add it to your food. And there's ways to know, aside from checking your blood levels of potassium, which is a smart thing to do because, again, it is dangerous to do. When you take Lasix, Lasix is one of the best diuretics and one of the most dangerous diuretics. Lasix, in one pill of Lasix, can completely disrupt and ruin your potassium levels in your blood. So if you can get your potassium levels very high over a day, 2 days, sometimes 3 days, doing it slower is better. And there's ways to tell this, either blood tests, you get twitches in the muscle, you'll start to see twitches happening in the muscle, that's when you know you're having the perfect amount. You have an excess of potassium now. So when you hit the Lasix, potassium can come back down and you can keep taking Lasix to get the excess water off you, but have a healthy level of potassium still. So your potassium's not fully depleted. You have intracellular, extracellular water. Potassium is typically intra, and sodium is typically extracellular, meaning like on the outside of a cell membrane or on the outside close to the membrane. So when you take the Lasix and you start depleting your potassium, you had so much stores built up, you're back at normal now. Well, now you have to make up for it with sodium. Sodium's what you're trying to get rid of for the show, but what happens is once you get rid of that, that's also the fullness of the muscle. You lost all the fullness and now you're screwed. So what you do is you soda load before the show or sodium load before the show after you've done the Lasix and after you've done the potassium chloride. When you do the potassium chloride, such as this one, this is a brand name, you do this, you're fine. You don't have to make up for loading up sodium the day of a show and worrying about filling out and being flat on stage. You had enough that's going to last you where you come in normally, and then when you take the your sodium, whatever form it's going to be, pink Himalayan salt's a good one. Baking soda is okay too. You do that and you can fill out for the show before you have time for that water and sodium to spill over and go under the skin on top of the muscle, which is what you were trying to get rid of in the first place. So in order to get rid of that, you have to deplete minerals. So certain minerals you want to take more of. That way when you do take diuretics, you're normal. So keep that in mind. And what we're doing right now is the same concept. Although we're not doing it extreme, we only have a 7-day transformation. So we're just doing it the night before, and we're doing it very mildly. We don't want to do any crazy tricks where we're doing this for 3 days, like for a show, and then trick you guys with an extra 10 pounds difference on this physique. We're literally doing it 7 p.m. right now, and by the morning we're going to take all measurements. So we're doing some potassium right now, and we'll take a diuretic, get the water off to see how much of the muscle we actually kept. And it's more just to show you during this transformation exactly how much fat, how much muscle was gained, how much fat was lost, how much water is on him. So if we can get rid of the water, you guys can see exactly how much muscle's on it and how much fat's on it.